after having two very different experiences of my first birth, where I was asked to lie down most of the time, and I had a monitor on, and nothing happened, and we had to have a C-section, to being at home to begin with and having a woman with me. I mean, there's just no comparison. If I was to say anything to my friends now, I would say, have a woman with you, actually. Your husband's wonderful, but to have the intuition with another woman in the room is priceless. And I think it's the way it should be. When it comes to female intuition, you're very lucky if your husband has it, but mostly they don't. And that woman to be with you, to help you to do your thing and to do that most womanly thing that you're trying to do, I think is absolutely essential. And it should be, there should be a section in every hospital. There should be a department of doulas, or we should be incorporating it into your birth. It shouldn't just be when you get pregnant you look for a gynecologist and the hospital and you like the room and you talk to them about your birth plan. There should also be, I have to find my gynecologist and I have to find my doula, and I really think it should be an integral part of your birth. So before the birth, my first birth was a C-section, emergency C-section, and I wanted to have a natural birth, but at the same time I was very scared of having another emergency C-section because of the exhaustion afterwards and not being able to walk around, and suddenly I have a 2-year-old, and I felt very strongly that I didn't want to have to be in a bed with a new baby and not be able to get to her, and I was very scared about that happening again. So going into the second birth, I wanted to be in a place that was going to support me as much as possible to try and have a natural birth, but at the same time support me quickly into having a C-section, I think, if it wasn't going well. But the main problem was me having to deal with the fact that I'd had a C-section and it might happen again, and I wasn't really coming to terms with any of that. The labour, second time round, was up until a point amazing because of, can I name
Yeah,
it?
yes, you can.
Yeah, because of Divya, who is my doula, and she relaxed me to a point where initially the contractions were hurting, and then she relaxed me and took me into a place where they didn't hurt anymore, and they were coming and going, and they just felt manageable and natural, and I was almost in a kind of trance state. In fact, I spoke to my mother and she thought that I'd been given drugs. My voice sounded so relaxed. And we went to hospital and we continued labouring in the hospital, and it was a far better experience because I was being informed and I was being told I was progressing, and Divya never left my side, and with the constant touch and communication and just calming atmosphere, I was very comfortable. I even managed to sleep in between some contractions, I think. But then the doctor that was going to deliver me came into the room and told me that I hadn't actually dilated or progressed or done anything, which I thought I'd been doing. And that was a very emotional point where I thought I was going to have a C-section again. And it all kind of went wrong at that point in my head. But we managed to, I had to have my waters broken, and I had an epidural, and then it all happened. And the baby being born was the most empowering moment. So I got up into a squatting position, and Divya again was supporting me instinctively, just supporting me and holding my hand. And then I think I went on to all fours, which I was very comfortable with, and I wanted to stay there. And then they said I had to get back, so again Divya helped me back, and George came out like a champagne cork, I think. But it was it was the best part of the birth. I remember thinking, if birth was just delivering, I'd do it every day. The labour was quite hard, although much better than the first experience. But the birth was wonderful, and he just came out, and I felt like I could never beat that moment, actually.